This just happened about an hour ago. I watched a newscast and then I put together 17 terms from that newscast that will help you improve your English. Maybe you are studying English for the IELTS or the TOEFL exam. Maybe you just want to have better conversations in English. Either way, this is the place for you. We watch the news together. They say some very difficult things. I come back and explain those very difficult terms. Let's watch the newscast together. I'm going to put my glasses on because we are going to get serious. Please go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe if you never want to miss another English lesson, and let's watch that clip together.
Fox is now reporting that on screen. They're having their reporter speaking on it now as he's live in Tel Aviv. But once again, folks, for just joining us here at home, we've been waiting for this information. We had gotten some insight before from our partners there at Reuters. They were able to talk to us to let us know that Netanyahu, the prime minister, as he just had statements a little while ago, said that there were signs that the prime minister, that the Ayatollah was no longer anymore. This is what he said, according to Aisha Hasni with Fox News.
Yeah, my hair isn't even combed, but hey, I am not important. These words and terms are more important so you can improve your English. For each of the terms, I will have a definition that I hope you will be able to understand. I will have a picture and a sentence that goes together to help you get more insight about that term. Let's talk about what insight means. A deep or clear understanding of a confusing problem or situation. Take a look at that picture. This looks like it might be in Japan. Well, it is because I wrote this sentence. I know it's in Japan. Her travel blog offers a unique insight into life in rural Japan. Is that hard? Rural? It means like the countryside, not the city. Next, we have the Ayatollah, and I guess he is no longer with us. We'll talk about that a little later. According to sources, he is dead. But let's talk about who the Ayatollah is. A high ranking religious leader in the Shia branch of Islam, especially in Iran. And shout out to anyone watching who is Muslim. Either you are Shia or Sunni. If you are celebrating Ramadan, I hope it is a reflectful time for you, a time for reflection, we might say. Let's get a sentence that talks about the Ayatollah. The news report discussed the influence of the Ayatollah on the country's laws. Well, it looks like he will no longer be the leader in Iran. Was no longer. That's how they described the Ayatollah. In other words, he's dead. We have many different ways to say someone has died because it's uncomfortable. You often hear he has passed away, but they said he was no longer. I think it was Benjamin Netanyahu who said that. Was no longer. That is a polite or formal way to say someone has died or something has ceased to exist. We are talking about the first way here. And in this picture, we have a grandfather, and it looks like he is no longer with us. He was no longer. He's passed away. He's gone on to a better place. Let's read the sentence. After the long illness, the doctor told the family that their grandfather was no longer with them. Next, we have stops shy. So let's get the official definition, and I will talk more about it in a minute. It means to nearly do something, but decide not to do the final part. So here we have a little boy, and it looks like he is at an amusement park, and he has a huge stuffed animal. So maybe he's carrying that around with him at the park, but he stops shy of getting on the Ferris wheel. And in the back, that ride in English, that big like circle thing, we call it a Ferris wheel. Let's read the sentence. He bought a giant stuffed animal, but he stopped shy of carrying it on the Ferris wheel. Next, we have a compound, and apparently that is where the Ayatollah was living. He was living in a compound. I live in a regular house. You probably live in a regular house or maybe an apartment, but maybe if you are very rich and you are worried about your security, you might live in a compound. Let's get the official definition. A large area of land containing several buildings, often surrounded by a fence or a wall. The workers live in a safe compound near the construction site. So maybe those workers are working in a dangerous area. Maybe they are rebuilding a city that has been bombed. Unfortunately, I think much of Iran will need to be rebuilt after this. I don't know if it's a war, but this military operation. A tyrant, I think most people would agree. The Ayatollah was. I'm talking about him in the past tense because he is no longer. He is no longer with us, but I think most people would say that he was a tyrant. Please let me know in the comment section. This is the second video I've released today with an English lesson about what is going on in Iran. And in the first video, some people were very happy the United States was going in and causing a lot of problems for the regime of Iran. Please let me know in the comments. Are you for this or are you against this? Do you support this or are you against it? Okay, a tyrant is a ruler who has unlimited power and uses it in a cruel or unfair way. Here is a sentence. History books describe the king as a tyrant because he punished anyone who disagreed with him. Next, we have, hey, I'm going to have you jump in. I'm going to have you jump in. A very informal way to ask someone to start participating or helping with a task immediately. Hey, I'm going to have you jump in. If I was doing this English lesson with another person and maybe I had to leave for a second, I might say, hey, can you jump in and teach this next term? I'm here by myself today. I'm usually here by myself. Let's get a sentence that uses have you jump in. We are halfway through the meeting. I'll have you jump in and share your ideas now.
That is exactly what he said in his speech. We have just been informed by Fox News confirming that Iran's supreme leader, Khamenei, is now been killed in these strikes. And so as we're getting this breaking news, and we still have Brian on the line here. Brian, I'm going to have you jump in here once again as we're talking about this. This is the moment that we've been waiting to hear. We didn't have confirmation. It was suspected. It was put out there on the internet. I had told folks earlier today we won't be confirming anything until we have it from our trusted sources. But a huge moment to see that Khamenei has now been pronounced dead.
Yes, and I would guess that he is not the only one. He has a son who's very powerful. He may have been killed as well. We'll wait for confirmation on that, and much of the leadership. There was a bifurcation of efforts here, Christina. The Israelis were moving in for a decapitation strike, cleaning out the leadership of the country. The American targets were different. And so the Israelis have exacted the ultimate punishment to the Iranian leadership.
Next, we have confirmation. That is the noun. To confirm is the verb. What does it mean if you have confirmation? And I think we're still waiting for confirmation to see if the Ayatollah is really dead, but sources are saying he is. We will talk about sources in a minute. The definition for confirmation: a statement or piece of evidence that proves something is true. So it looks like this woman is maybe taking a trip. Yeah, I think so. Let's read the sentence. I am waiting for an email confirmation of my flight booking. So maybe she has booked the flight and she just doesn't know if she has the ticket yet. but she will get an email confirming that flight, or a confirmation email, we might say. Next, it was suspected. So right now, it's suspected that the Ayatollah is dead. We don't have confirmation. This is almost like the opposite of confirmation. When people believe something is true or that someone did something wrong, but they don't have proof yet. Here's a sentence that uses "it was suspected." It was suspected that the fire started because of old electrical wires. And there in the picture, you can see there are some very old electrical wires, and it's possible that is the reason the fire started. Folks, we kind of don't pronounce that L, folks. And I say this quite often. It is an informal, friendly word for like people or family members. Hey, what's up, folks? I might say. I'm going to visit my folks back in my hometown this weekend. And when I hear it in that sentence, I probably think parents when it's used that way. Next, we have our sources. Our sources are telling us that he's dead. We just don't have confirmation yet. Let's talk about what our sources mean. You will hear this quite a bit when watching the news. People or documents that provide information, often used by journalists or researchers. Yeah, if you're at school and you are writing a paper, you might not be an expert on that subject. So you are going to want to have sources, books, newspaper articles that you read where people did like official research. Here's a sentence that uses our sources. Our sources at the Capitol say the government will announce a new tax law tomorrow. They also used pronounced dead in the newscast. Of course, you know what dead is, but pronounced dead, this is when something is like very official. Maybe somebody was injured first and we thought they might make it, they might recover, but ultimately they did not survive. Here's the official definition: an official or medical statement that someone is legally dead. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene of the accident. Next, we have a very difficult term, bifurcation. And to be honest, I never used this term, but they used it in the news clip, so I thought you might like to know it. And I also want to point out, if you see bi at the beginning of a word in English, think two. It usually has something to do with two. Let's get the definition here. The division of something into two separate branches or parts. And you can see there's a bifurcation of the river there. So let's get the sentence. The river has a bifurcation that creates a small island in the middle. Here we have decapitation. Decapitation. Usually that means like literally somebody loses their head. But in the newscast, they used it a little differently. Like Israel, it seemed like Israel was in charge of getting rid of the leadership of Iran. So that would be like decapitating the government or the head of the government. So let's talk about the official definition here. In business, it can mean removing the top leaders of an organization. And that is what happened, it seems, in Iran. The top leaders were pretty much just killed, I guess. Here's a sentence. The revolution led to the decapitation of the old government's leadership. Cleaning out. We have a phrasal verb, cleaning out. In this context, it means to completely remove or destroy everything inside a place. And it looks like Israel and the United States is cleaning out the leadership of Iran. Let's get a sentence here. The army was cleaning out the enemy's hidden bunkers in the mountains, and bunkers are usually underground. Next, we have exacted. Exacted. It is a verb and it means to force someone to give you something, usually as a payment or as a punishment. Here is a sentence. The long hours at work exacted a heavy toll on his health. So, in other words, he is working so hard that his health is going downhill. He is not as healthy as he used to be. And that is it. 16 new words. If you are looking for more words, more English, there is the other English lesson I did about the US invading Iran. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.